Winners and losers have the same goals. Your daily habits will always win. To want the outcome without the lifestyle is to torture yourself. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems.
Most of us think about to-do lists and goals and those kinds of things. What is the difference between a system and a goal?
I was very goal driven for a long time. I probably still am. We all have goals and think about the outcomes we want. Your goal is the target, the outcome, the thing you're shooting for. Your system is the collection of daily habits that you follow. If there is ever a gap between your goal and your system, if there's ever a gap between your desired outcome and daily habit, your daily habits will always win. Almost by definition, your current habits are perfectly designed to deliver your current results. If you want to see where you're going to end up, just follow the trajectory of your habits. What's the process you've been running for the last 6 months or year or 2 years? And they've carried you almost inevitably to the outcomes that you have right now. Now, I'm not saying that habits are the only thing that matter in life. Strategy matters, luck, randomness, those misfortune, those things can influence the outcome. But by definition, luck and randomness are not under your control, and your habits are. And the only reasonable, rational approach in life is to focus on the pieces that are within your control. I think goals can be good for setting a sense of direction. They're good for clarity, especially if you have a team, get everybody rowing in the same direction. But once you've decided what the goal is, you should basically set it on the shelf and spend the vast majority of your time focused on building a better system. How are the habits we're executing each day moving us closer to this outcome that we want? Goals are best for people who care about winning once. Systems are best for people who care about winning repeatedly. If you really want to make progress again and again, if you want to get to the top and stay at the top, you need some process for staying up there, some collection of habits that's going to keep this machine running. This is why I say in the book, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems.
Is there a way to become more orientated towards systems and thinking about first principles, like the habits that lead to the goal? Or is it just so that some people have it?
I do think some of it is personality. Some people are very future oriented and like thinking about what the systems are and what that would lead them to and so on, or more process oriented. But there are a number of questions that you can ask that can help you figure out what systems you should be focused on. Like a couple of the ones I like. One question is, can my current habits carry me to my desired future? You have a bunch of habits you're following right now. What path are you on? Can your current habits take you there? And they could be either way. Like sometimes the answer is yes, and what you need is patience. You just need to keep, staying on the path. But sometimes the answer is no, and then obviously something needs to change. You're hoping for one outcome, but then you're following a different lifestyle. So to want the outcome without the lifestyle is to torture yourself. And what really matters is not, do you want the result? Anybody would like the result if you just hand it to them. The question is, do you want the lifestyle? One of the little things I try to do whenever I have a new business project I'm thinking about or something I'm excited about potentially doing, the first question I ask is, how do I want to spend my days? And so then you draw a box, and inside that box, how can we make the most money, reach the most people, make the biggest impact, make the contribution that you want to make, but not outside of it. And what happens a lot of the time is people do that in reverse. They start by asking, how can we make the most money or reach the most people or make the biggest impact? And then they decide, oh, well, this is what I want to do, but it's actually outside of how they want to spend their days. And it's not going to work out well because, it goes back to our point previously about, is this fun? If they don't want to spend their time that way, you're just grinding for a little while and eventually it's not going to work. That's the key for building systems that really work. This is how you want to spend your days. The person who wants to live the lifestyle is much better positioned to get the result.
Winners and losers have the same goals.
Everybody wants the results. Let's say you have 100 people apply for a job. You got a new job opening. Presumably, every candidate has the goal of getting the job. The goal is not the thing that determines the outcome. So the person who wins and the 99 people who lose, they have the same goals. You look at the Olympic Games. Everybody who's competing has the goal of winning the gold. So the goal is not the thing that makes the difference. Winners and losers have the same goals. So if they have the same goals, they cannot be the thing that make the difference in their performance. It has to be something else. Maybe having a goal is part of it. Maybe it's necessary, but it's not sufficient for the outcome that you want. And for that, what you need is a system. You need a collection of habits that are going to make the difference and accumulate into a bigger outcome.
And you say goals restrict your happiness.
There's some implicit promise internally that once I get to this goal, then I'll be happy. Once I write a New York Times bestseller, then I'll feel better about it. Once I achieve this certain number on the scale, then I'll be happy with my body. Once I get to $1 million in revenue, then I'll be happy with the business. So you're kind of constantly pushing happiness off to the next milestone and thinking that once you get there, then finally you'll be satisfied. But I think the better way to do it is to fall in love with the process, to fall in love with the lifestyle. Then you can be happy along the way. and still achieve the goals as you go, still achieve the milestones.